The crack is that I started Mounjaro. Call the police, call the police.
It's rare, but we always have to go through it anyway.
Morning girls, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a bit of a different video today. Buckle in! I have some news for you and I've been wanting to share it for a good while now, but I haven't known the right time and place to share it. But I'm excited to update you on it all, and I thought I would do like kind of a day in the life, but also it's going to be an update on my whole weight loss journey, weight loss, you know, one of these. Whatever that is, my whole weight loss journey basically, yeah. I have to head to the gym in literally 3 minutes, so I thought I would just start the vlog because I'm gonna go for a wee coffee after and we can chat a little bit more. But the crack is that I started Mounjaro. Call the police, call the police. I wanted to do this on YouTube because I want to make sure that context is had. I feel like on the other apps I can't give context, I can't do what I need to do. I know how impactful words are, and I know how impactful even my words are. Everyone's words are very impactful, especially when you're putting it out there and you're online or whatever. I want to make it so clear, and this is like the disclaimer part of the video. I want to make it so clear, I am not promoting this. This is not something I promote at all. I think it is important that there's a bit of nuance here. Before we start, I did want to give a couple of disclaimers. First of all, a trigger warning: if weight, anything like that affects you, hurts you, and this video is not going to be beneficial for you, please don't watch. I won't be offended. There's nothing you're going to need to know. Get your friend to watch it. She can fill you in on anything that's important. If talking about weight, scales, food, things like that are triggers for you, please don't watch this. I love you and all will be well, and I love you, okay? Second of all, disclaimer, which is kind of related, kind of not. I don't want this in any way to influence anybody to make the decision to go on this solely based on what my experience has been. I have done this very legit. This is through my doctor. This is through, I've got a dietitian. I'm accountable. Yeah, I don't want to influence anyone to go to any of these silly clinics that are giving out the drug to everyone. This, at the end of the day, is a very serious topic. It is a medication. It's not just Ozempic or Mounjaro, you know, like it's not all la la and fun. It's literally a medication. It is a medication that they're treating people for obesity. And so if that's not something you suffer with, this shouldn't even be in your realm of like thought to go on something like this. This is a serious drug. It has some long-term side effects. There is issues, okay? And I considered all this before going on it. You know me, like, you know I love a wee jokey joke. I'm always joking about everything, la la la. But this, I'm just a bit skeptical of anyone feeling in any way influenced because they're unhappy with how they look or like any physical aesthetic purposes. This is not the reason that I'm on this medication. Not even close, okay? It's a health thing, but we'll get into all of that. I want to explain it all. I know that the medication is polarizing and everyone has opinions and feelings on it, and I did as well before, you know, starting this whole thing. And yeah, that just comes down to the media. Like, you know, part of it's glamorized, you know, Hollywood and people misusing it, and part of it is villainized as this horrible thing, whatever. But no one's given the middle ground. I feel like we don't see the middle ground, and that's why I'm doing this video, to give you a middle ground, a well-rounded middle ground opinion and experience on it. That's the crack. I don't know, I don't want to put anything in your heads. This is genuinely just sharing experience. I want to be honest. This whole thing is not something I feel any shame on, like not even 1 ounce. I am well educated. I done my research. This isn't something I just decided, oh, yay, slay, like nothing like that. Okay, let's just get that straight here. It's not like that. It never has been like that. Weight for me, if you've been following me for years, has always been something that I've struggled with. I have my issues, but this decision was not made lightly, and I don't want anyone to think that this is the route. Okay, this is the last resort for me. and it's definitely not a first resort. We'll get into all of the history and the context behind it, but I just wanted to make that clear. I do have the gym now though, so we're going to go and do that, and then we'll grab a coffee and chat some more, but that's just my disclaimers. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. It's literally just going to be a chatty one, but I want to fill you in because I want you to be aware of what's actually happening. I don't want to be like, oh, all of a sudden Niamh's finally being able to stick and be consistent with something. How is she doing that? Like, da 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 da, what's your secret, da da da. I'm having a bit of help. All right, okay girls, because it's hard out here, but we'll chat, let's go. I'm so excited to be able to finally talk to you about it all. Like, yeah, I just had to give the disclaimers. I would hate for people to think that this is just something that I did lightly. Like, oh, I need to lose a couple of pounds, just Ozempic, Mounjaro, like, no. It's medication, guys. It's leg day at the gym. I'm a little bit nervous because I planned on walking to get coffee after. But sometimes after a leg workout, like, I be shaky, really shaky and emotional. Sometimes I cry after a leg workout. Don't know what it is. Something to do with my hips, I think. They say women hold a lot of tension there, so I would assume, I don't know. Anyway, it's leg day, which is the hardest day, but also the most rewarding, I think. But I always feel so accomplished after a gym session. After a heavy leg day, I always feel emotional. Like, I actually get fully emotional. As women, we hold so much tension on our hips. That's why some women get emotional when they stretch. When they stretch their hip flexors, you can get really emotional and actually start crying, like fully emotional breakdown vibes. It's kind of like an emotional release, you know? I was trying to chat to you a bit there, but my mics weren't charged. So I'm just going to walk home here and we'll get a shower and chat because I am stinking right now. All clean. I feel so much better. Also, what do you think of my stretchy jeans that I got out of TK Maxx? They're like elastic waist. I love them. They're kind of like a linen trouser but not linen. Like nearly like a soft denim. Love them. I need to move these. Hopefully you can see me properly there. Have I got socks to put on because I don't want to be flashing my feet for free. No free feet pics. Okay, where are we going to start? I literally have struggled with my weight for as long as I can remember. Like many women, like, you know, it is what it is. I'm also a foodie and I'm happy that I am a foodie. It's like one thing that brings me like joy. I love food, I love socializing, I love dinners, that kind of thing. Now, I did realise that I love my food. Can't love food enough. Like, food is great. Food is like literally the best thing ever. I've always noticed that my food noise is very high. If you don't know what food noise is, it's kind of like the constant obsession and thinking of food all the time. Like, as soon as I wake up, I'm thinking of food. If I'm going to bed, I'm thinking of food. If I've just ate, I'm thinking about what's next. It's always been a running joke, like, my eyes are bigger than my belly. I go to a restaurant and I have to order everything in the menu, and like, it's just who I am. Like, I just need to get a taste of everything all the time. It was just something I would constantly bring up in conversation. It was like, normally people would get hunger cues and they would eat, whereas I just felt like it wouldn't matter if I ate, it wouldn't satisfy me. Like, I would want something else. Growing up, food lover, whatever, I noticed that I was gaining weight, and socially I would feel like a little bit conscious about my body image and stuff like that. But for some reason, for me, social pressures weren't enough for me to care like that much. Like, I never stopped myself from doing anything. I was always confident, I'm sure of myself. Like, it never stopped or got in the way of anything. And that's how it just continued to get a little bit worse, and I just, like, it got me to where I was, basically. Obviously, yes, like, I had my struggles with body image and everything, and like, that was uncomfortable at times, like, you know, picking clothes and things like that. That was always, you know, it would bring on comfort and like annoy me a little bit, but I never made my weight something that stopped me from experiencing and living. Hey, it's future me editing. I've got no bra on, don't even look at me. But also I've changed my whole setup. Anyway, I'll show you that in the next video. I just want to interject here, and this is probably going to happen a lot of times in this video, because this was honestly the most emotionally draining day ever. Like, recording this, it's really hard for me to talk about like my whole thing openly. Like, even though I do it all the time, it's nearly like I feel like I have to caveat everything with like, I don't know, I'm obsessed with context. And so I keep repeating the same things and like whatever. But I did want to put in here that as much as I said here it didn't affect me socially, I meant that it didn't affect me like going out of the house, like anxiety wise. Like I would still experience and do life, but it did affect me a lot more micro than I'm letting on here. For some reason it doesn't come across. I feel like I just forgot to say, especially like late teens, early 20s. Now I'm pretty like okay with, you know, being in bikinis and all of that, but there was like a good, you know, 5-6 year period where I wouldn't, like I'd go on holidays and I would say, oh, I know I don't like swimming. I love swimming, like literally I'm a water gal and I love getting on the pool on holidays, but I would say, no, I don't really like swimming. If anybody else was around, like I'd be like, nah, and I wouldn't wear bikinis. I would always have a jacket on. I never would go out without a jacket because my problem area, or whatever you want to call it, the area of my body that like gains the most fat and where I carry all my weight, I needed to cut my torso off here and here to like cut off my 2 sides and my lower belly, because my whole torso, that's where all my weight is, or majority of it. But yeah, I just thought I'd make that clear because that did affect my life, and like I did make choices based on hiding that. And also funny, I was talking to a friend yesterday, like I always thought that I knew that I was overweight but no one else did. That's literally how I like to explain it. Like I didn't identify as like people recognizing me as bigger. I was always like the loudest and like I would have fun and crack and whatever. And so I think like I was trying to distract everyone. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it felt the whole time. God, this is very honest. This is very therapy based. You better not be too mean. I know some of you fuckers are gonna be mean, but that's alright. But just don't send it to me, and also like make sure you don't mistakenly send it to my story or anything like that, because that'll make me spiral, okay? Just be dead on. But I did gain a subconscious thing where I would joke about my weight and joke about myself literally 10 times a day. And yeah, it's been pointed out to me a lot. I am working on all of that as well. I had first heard about GLP-1s like a couple of years ago, probably the same as everybody else, when they kind of like started coming into consciousness and people started to talk about them or whatever. And I had such a negative perception on them. For some reason I thought it was like this magic jab that you took that like burned all your fat cells. And so I was like, absolutely not. Like I didn't even consider, to be completely honest, I didn't consider it up until this year. I don't know, it was never something that I thought I would be interested in, because I always thought that I could do it. I always thought, I've got this. I know about energy in, energy out. I know about exercising more. I know about calorie intake. I know what my basal metabolic rate is. I knew it all. I had learnt it all over the years. Counting my calories just was what it was, and it wasn't ever like a toxic thing for me. So I always thought, no, I can, like, I don't have to seek help. Like, I'm fine. And that was how I lived my life. I just always thought, I'll get there. I'll lose the weight. I know I will. This is what I always told myself. And like, it is true. That literally is true. But the thing is, people throw about words a lot when it comes to weight gain and like obesity and things like that. They're like, if you're obese, you're lazy. You have no willpower. You da 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 da. Like, people like to say these words, these like definitive things. And if that is how you view obesity, if you think it's just willpower and it's just this or just that, we are so complex. That isn't just not how life is. We don't live in a vacuum. For an obese person to lose weight and like sustainably healthy, whatever, that requires the perfect harmony of external and internal factors in their life. That's just the case. It's not about willpower. So I just went about my life as usual. Then this year I was on my Fitness Pal, which is what I've used over the years to count my calories. It's what I've always used. I accidentally clicked into the weight progress graph. I actually forgot it was there. I hadn't used it in like well over 2 years. But I noticed that I had progress pictures and weights from as early as January 2019. And it hit me, like I was looking at it, there was data and it had told me that I hadn't been below 90 kg since then. And that was January 2019. So I would say it was probably all of 2018 as well. I had been that weight. And I know it's not about weight, but I'm using weight because it's a measurable thing for me. And maybe it would be okay if I stayed at 90 kg, but like I got up to 100 kg and I've been kind of between 98 and 100 kg the past like 3 years, I would say. When I seen the data like sitting in front of me in graph form, I was like, fuck, maybe I like can't do this myself. Like, I've had the knowledge and I have been aware. I could write a book on how to healthily lose weight. I have all that knowledge, and for some reason I just struggle. It hasn't happened for me. As much as I want it, it just hasn't happened for me. And it made me think, okay, I need to go and see a doctor and see how we can manage this. We're moved to the kitchen, I need to eat. I'm making pasta and curry. It's so random, but I need a carb. So we're going with pasta today because I've no rice. So ignore my flowers, they're dead. I've been trying to keep them alive all week. It has not been successful at all. Somehow I need to make this upside down. What puzzle tape to try and keep my puzzle alive, because I actually think this is a gorgeous puzzle. I think it would look cute. How gorgeous is that? Come on. I just don't really know how I'm supposed to turn it upside down though. I did it! Peel detacher. That's so annoying. There's not enough sheets. This is the curry I made yesterday. Anyway, so I seen the data and I just had to like ask myself the questions like, what's going on? At this time, I had actually already started with my friend who's a dietitian. She had started like keeping me accountable food-wise, which was great. And I think I lost like 4 pounds before even going to the doctor. But I went to the doctor and I just like explained my reasoning. I kind of have thought the doctor was going to be like, go away. I'm making myself laugh because even now, like even me going to see the doctor, I was like, I really thought no one else could see it. I don't know what that's called. Like I really thought nobody else was understanding it. Like I could see that I was, like I knew I was, but I thought I was high. I thought no one knew. And then nobody was aware. Like I really, really did to the very end. I still, to this day, I feel like I hide it pretty well. Not that you should have to fucking hide it. It's so silly, but like that's just what, honestly. Like not me going to the doctor and thinking he's going to be like, you're not eligible. You're actually, you know, perfectly healthy. He was like, you're the perfect candidate. What? And I don't know if it's an age thing because it was as soon as I hit 25, I noticed like very shortly after turning 25, I noticed that my hips would get sore when I was walking for too long. Like if I was walking 15 minutes or longer, I would get sore there. I would have issues with breathlessness, and like if I was out for a walk with friends and I seen a hill, like it would literally send me into a panic. A couple of weeks prior to this as well, we were in Palm Beach and there was a really steep hill, and like my friends straight up it, obviously, like whatever, as you should be able to do at 26, you know, get up the hill, you know. But I had to keep taking breaks, so I kept pretending to look out of viewpoints. Literally dying, my breath was gone, you know. I just noticed, ever since turning 25, I really noticed the implications on my body. And it all just sort of wore on me. So I got this script anyway from the doctor, and I went and I wanted to talk to my family. I wanted to talk to my mum, my dietitian. I wanted to make sure she was on board to help me, because I was really certain if I was going to take the step to do it, I wanted to do it completely correctly. I'm sitting here eating this and I just realised I left my water bottle sitting at the park, honestly. Anyway, to continue with the story, I got the script, I talked with everyone, I looked up the risks, set them up against the risks of me staying where I'm currently at, in terms of staying obese and not making any movement the same way I haven't in the past 7 years. And the risks of me staying where I was at were a lot worse than the risks of the medication. So I made the decision to go and get the script and to start it. I knew that people would say I was lazy or had no willpower or all those big words that they like to throw. But I know that that's just not true. I know my life and I know who I am, and I felt like this would give me a little bit of help. If you don't actually know what a GLP-1 does, it's not a magic fat dissolver. It doesn't, literally the only thing it does is alters, I think it's 2 hormones in your gut. One that affects your food noise and one that slows down your stomach emptying, so I get fuller faster. Obviously I'm not a scientist, I'm not a pharmaceutical person, I'm nothing, like literally I don't have a lot of knowledge in the exacts. Basically takes like the torment or the torture out of a calorie deficit for me. It makes it so that I can go to the fridge and I can choose a healthy fat, choose a carb, choose a protein, and build my meals like that instead of doing it with impulse and eating while I'm making dinner because I can't eat enough, ran off impulse and quickness, and like that's how it felt. Whereas now it's slower, I can choose my food, I can make sure it's nutritious food, still have my snacks, I still have my crisps, my chocolate, in moderation. Honestly, I said about the social pressures not being the main thing for me. It was always the health. It was definitely the health that put it over the line, but there was a lot of social issues with it. Like, I had to pay extra to do my skydive. I booked a sunrise kayak, and because me and my boyfriend were over the weight limit together, we had to do 2 single ones, and there's so many different things, like being heavier, and like, you know, it does come with its social issues as well, and they're never nice. I just can't believe that this is how regular other people feel who don't have food noise. Like, it is so peaceful, so much more clarity. Like, food consumed at least 80% of my thoughts all day, every day. A lot of the chat from people who are skeptical of it is that you're just gonna, once you go off it, you're just gonna go right back to whatever. And it's like, I know I'm always gonna struggle with my weight. I know it's always gonna probably be a thing in my life. The way I see it is this, right? And I think it was somebody explained it like this. I think maybe it was James Smith or something. Being obese is like being in a boxing ring, right? And you're fighting all of these opponents. So you're fighting being overweight. You're fighting your food noise, okay? But you're also fighting social issues. You're fighting your body image. You're fighting the way you feel. You're fighting exhaustion, sore hips, sore feet, like the health issues. You're fighting all of that. That's where we started, and I'm hoping that after I do this drug for however long I need to do it to get myself into a healthier position, then I'll just be fighting 2 opponents instead of the 50 that I was fighting before. You know, because while I'm on this medication, I'm using the clear headspace to be hitting my step count, to be changing my habits, to be choosing the nutritional food. Like, I'm not just eating what I used to eat but less. I'm using this clear head, this non-food noise, to make better decisions and to make better habits, so that when I come out of this thing, I'm set up as best as I can be. And maybe I'm just fighting with food noise, and I feel like I can fight food noise. But when you're fighting food noise, and you're fighting paying extra money for skydiving, and you're fighting being scared to go up the hill, and you're fighting being scared of cardio, and you're fighting a sore back and knees and all of this and hips and whatever, that's a lot harder to do than just fighting food noise and having willpower to not choose the foods that you shouldn't be choosing. What's worse, like giving this a shot and trying it or not, and staying where I'm at and fighting with everything and until it burns me out. Do you know what I mean? I just want to reiterate, this is not, I do not influence anyone to go on this, you know, before trying everything else first. And if you're in a healthy state and you're choosing to do this medication or whatever because you just want to whatever, like lose a couple of pounds here and there, it is risky. It is not a good idea. Like, that's not a good idea. That's not healthy. Okay, we're going back to check if my Yeti is still sitting. Please, like, see if I've lost this. I will actually, it'll be a mental breakdown. Like, even if it did go mouldy and I drank it. We're trauma bonded. Everyone, fingers crossed. It's not here. Shit. Someone's away with the Yeti. My heart is actually broken. The Yeti is a goner. I am so upset about that. It was my fault. I left it sitting. So silly. Honestly, who sees someone's water bottle sitting and thinks happy days? It was probably a child. It was probably a teenager thinking happy days, a Yeti. Free Yeti. Where was I with the whole weight loss thing? Yeah, girls, that's the crack. I'm so excited that yous know now, because I can chat about it to yous and like be fully open. I hadn't shared it yet because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay on it. I didn't know how long, you know, if it was adverse with me, if it didn't work with me, if I had really bad side effects. I probably would have stopped taking it. I wanted to be sure before I started sharing any information about it, and I am sure, so I'm in it for the long haul now. But after debating it for a while, I went and got the script, picked it up. I was so nervous. It's a once a week injection. I picked up the 2.5, which is the starting dose. It's like basically just traces of the medication so that your body can get used to it, because it is pretty intense changes to your body in terms of like, especially the stomach slowing down. It can cause a lot of people to have diarrhea, like constipation, everything, like gastro issues, burps, like heartburn, all of that. I started it in August and I was going to New Zealand in September, so I said to myself I'll continue on the starter dose for another month. And I did notice that I was basically back to normal for half the week in terms of cravings and all of that. But like, come on, I'm able, you know, it definitely still took a lot of the pressure off, and I was still able to lose weight consistently and like, you know, a couple pound a week, and it was great. And then I didn't really have any side effects really. I did have a little bit of constipation, but I'm always constipated. That's like my thing. I'm never a regular bowel movement girl, never have been. So then after the 2 months I went up to the 5 milligrams. Now this is where it got serious. It felt really intense and it really curbed my hunger, like in a bad way, nearly too much, where I literally wasn't even thinking of food. It was like a forced thing. I had to force myself to eat basically, which is not fun either, and it is definitely not ideal. It has kind of subsided now. I'm on my 2nd month of the 5 milligram now. I get extremely tired when I take it. Like the next few days are pretty tough in terms of tiredness and everything, but I've had to alter my eating a lot with the 5 milligram. I can't really eat like anything saucy, and I'm a saucy girl usually. I now eat like a fucking toddler, to be honest. I eat all of my stuff separate. Today, to be honest, with that curry and pasta was actually done really well, because last night it made me a bit nauseous. I'm not too worried as long as I can get, like, I can build my little plate of toddler food. You know, I've started having like these chicken burgers, and I have a chicken burger pate for my protein. I have a little bundle of broccoli. I have a couple of potatoes cut into chips, and like that's how I do it. And my sauce and like a dipper so that I can dip it. And that's not normally me. Like I'm a slather that on, get that on everything, cover my food with sauce. That's normally how I would eat. So that's been a change, but I was finding that anytime I was having saucy meals, pastas, I think I've thrown up 2 or 3 times on it. Like, and it's the day after I inject. If I eat anything saucy, high in fat, high in dairy, isn't ideal, but I'm happy as long as I can get my nutrition, as long as I'm hitting my calories. It's funny that I'm counting calories now and trying to hit the calories rather than to stay under them. You know, if I continue throwing up or anything like that, anything serious, I would be right back to the doctor again. But I know that every time that I have been sick, it has been because of the food content that I've ate. Like I had fried chicken one time and it made me so sick. Fattiness of the food so quick after injecting, it just turned my stomach. Yeah, so that's been my not so nice side effects. I definitely wouldn't have continued on it if it was like something that wouldn't give in. Like if I was sick every day or whatever, I definitely wouldn't be continuing. So in terms of actual weight loss and how my progress is happening, in May time I was around 99 kg, which is like 15 stone 6 or 15 stone 7, 218 pounds. Then I joined on with Kayleen, and so I was down to 96 kg, which was around 15 stone 2. So I got down to 96 kg with Kayleen, and then I continued on with Kayleen but added in the Mounjaro, and now I'm currently 87 kg, which is around 191 pounds. It's hard to convert them all, but I'll go from just Mounjaro actually. So if I was 15 stone 2 and I'm now 13 stone 8, yeah, it's around a stone and a half, 9 point something kg I've lost so far. So it's going really, really well, nice and slow in terms of I'm not deteriorating, do you know what I mean? I'm not dropping 5 kgs a week, which happens sometimes, because if you don't have hunger cues and you aren't eating and you aren't trying to eat on this, it's really dangerous. Like I would recommend to anyone who's on it or planning on going on it or talking about it with their doctor to make sure to have some sort of accountability to eat, because it can get a bit like out of your mind sometimes. And so having that accountability where you're like, oh, I need to clock this, I need to, you know, track that, just to make sure, because it's very easy. And like girls, we don't want to be losing our hair, we don't want to be losing bone density, we don't want to be like any of that. At the end of the day, food is literally fuel. If you're not fueling your body will start to break down in different ways, and that's something that I'm trying to avoid the best I can. A lot of people kind of clump in the side effects of losing weight fast with the likes of Mounjaro or GLP-1s. They like to act as if it's the GLP-1 that's causing hair loss, bone density loss, or muscle loss, any of that. But these are all issues that happen from fast, way too fast weight loss. Any kind of rapid weight loss at all can cause those things. It's not actually necessarily the GLP-1 that's doing it. The GLP-1 is just helping with your deficit. Therefore, if you aren't using it properly and you aren't making sure that you're hitting targets and hitting protein and all of that, you can easily fall into these categories. I'm currently still listening to Julia Fox, Down the Drain. I'm actually listening to it as an audiobook, and she was talking about these in it today, and it made me laugh because I literally just bought these yesterday. She was doing a drug test and some guy gave her one of these Listerine patches, and the drug test came up as negative even though it shouldn't have been. That book, Down the Drain, is
insane. Sometimes when I'm listening to it in public, I'll be walking and I'm like, can anybody hear this? It kind of sounds X-rated. A lot of the time, it's very X-rated. Started reading I Who Have Never Known Man by Jacqueline Hartman. It was published in 1995, so it's an oldie. And I actually didn't know what to expect from it. Literally all I knew was it was kind of a classic and it is dystopian. That's all I really knew. And I'm about 63% through it on my Kindle. And it's brilliant so far. There's no chapters. It's all just one big book. I think it's maybe only 290 pages or something like that. But yeah, let's head back home and start winding down for the evening. I'm tired.
I remember so vividly the first week on this. This is the pen, by the way. It's just a thing and you just change out the injections. So funny because Owen, my boyfriend's diabetic, so he has loads of pens in there for his insulin, and now I have this and it's like a fridge full of injections. First time I went out for food with friends, it was I think the second week of me being on the 2.5. Like, we went out for dinner, it was to celebrate something, and I actually went to the toilet. I got so emotional about how I was feeling that I actually went to the toilet and had a bit of a cry. I felt this overwhelming peace, this overwhelming like contentment. I ordered a steak with broccoli and I think potatoes or something. Normally I would have to have like a few sides and Owen would be like, we don't need all that, and I'd be like, we do, I need it all. So I was able to just order my meal. I wasn't looking at other people's food envious. Like, my two friends had ordered pizzas and normally I would be like, oh, I should have ordered that pizza. Next time I'm going to order that pizza. And then in my head for the next week would be, why didn't I order that pizza? I'm going to order that pizza. Next time I go, I need to go to get that pizza. Like, it is so difficult to explain without sounding like a maniac. I've actually decided to take up running. These are not mine, by the way. I am never going to be a runner. Let me just get that straight right this second. They actually look pretty cool on me. I can't even lie. Owen! Come and see how cool these look on me. Why is it kind of slay though? Why is it kind of... Yeah. Training for the marathon. Got the marathon next week. One thing I really wasn't expecting when I went on Mounjaro was the confidence I would gain from, like, not even the weight loss, but the feeling that it's possible. And I was telling you earlier about the clarity it's gave my head, like, because I'm not thinking of the food all the time and I'm not like dwelling on everything. The amount of space I have in my head, like, I get to think of the outfits I'm putting together or like what I'm going to wear this weekend. I'm like actually thinking about it in a more positive light, which has been really, really nice. We're colouring in this one. As always, I've been trying to figure out ways to stay off my phone for longer, and so this week I was doing that puzzle and it was literally the best thing ever. Spent hours in the evening building the puzzle, like every time I came home, and it would just keep your hands busy. I watched the whole end of season 6 for Sex and the City. I was saying that because you're on insulin and I'm on Mounjaro, our fridge is like a pharmacy.
It's like a freaking road there.
There's so many injections in it. Oh, we're not away for another 3 Fridays.
We're in 2 weeks, Pat.
No, we're not. I completely forgot that Rosalia has her new album out today. That's the video, folks. I've just really wanted to share this with you and let you know so that everyone's like clear and open. I'm just so glad that we're all up to speed now. Yous are all aware. I can chat to yous about it. Yous will know the vibe. I'm not the type to keep a secret like that or pretend that I'm doing something I'm not. I'm trying to think, is there anything else to update yous on? I mean, yeah, that is the biggest one. That's why I'm doing this video, the whole Mounjaro thing. But I've so much coming up this year, honestly. I've got my birthday as golden birthday 27th to the 27th. What? No, I'm 27 on the 27th. Crazy. I can't believe I'm turning 27. It feels mad. Like 27 is late 20s. And Owen's booked a trip to the Whitsundays for my birthday, so we're doing that. And it's just going to be a real chilled weekend. Might vlog it, don't know. It's going to be very beachy, very book heavy. It's a few weeks after that. We're heading home for Christmas, back to Ireland, which I can't even contain my excitement for. I'm so excited to see everyone, and I love Christmas. You know how I feel about Christmas. I'm very, very excited. My granny's going to see me, and I'll probably have another stone off by then, and she's going to say I look awful. She's going to say, Jesus, you look sickly, Niamh. I know it. You know what the Irish grannies are like, and I'm expecting it. Here we go. That's that. Love you all so much. It was lovely. It's been a draining day, but that's fine. And onwards and upwards, folks. Now we just get on with regular programming. Stay safe. Love yourself, no matter what your size is, girls. You literally are perfect how you are. If something is affecting your weight, you talk to your doctor. It is a medical issue. But please don't take any drastic measures based off what you see online. It is not all dandy, not all whatever. You need to be realistic about your situation and stay logical. Anyway, I'll see you in the next week's video. I love you so much. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Join the crew and like subscribe for the vids.